You turn my morning into dancing. Your love changes everything. There's something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes every. You turn my morning into dancing. 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 'Cause your love changes everything. Your love changes everything. You turn my morning into dancing. You turn my morning into dancing. You turn my morning into dancing. 'Cause your love changes everything. Your love changes everything. Oh, there's something about your love. Something about your love changes everything in my body. Oh, something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. It changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. It changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. You turn my morning into dancing. 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 Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything.
Hey, good morning, guys. How's it going? It is, wow, 16 people. What's up with that? I'm looking online, and it says on X we have 12 people and 5 people on YouTube, which is crazy. 17. Oh, it says 17. Let's pull up and see what's going on here. I mean, suspicious. 7 comments, so that's pretty good, right? Wow. Not used to seeing these kind of numbers. Usually, 6, 7. Good morning, Chuck. Shalom, gentlemen. And Tom's here. Good morning, Tom. And Chris Conley. Good morning. Ken Gooch. Good morning, fellow brothers in arms. Dave Donnelly's here. Good morning, Dave. And Bert Reggiani. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Some of you aren't commenting. That's the way it works. All right. Anyway, it's a beautiful morning. Cold. I was outside this morning and I'm like, yikes. It is so chilly. There you go. Now it's gone. Yeah, it was so chilly. And I thought to myself, oh, I'm not ready for winter. I'm not ready for winter at all. So if I wake up in Scottsdale, I won't be surprised. How's that sound? Today's lessons from Psalm 93. We've been going through these Psalms, and I was telling my wife yesterday, I said, it's been a challenge for me to find something to talk about in each one of these because they're similar. They're not exactly the same. They're all different. And I've been able to find a difference in all of them, but it's still been trickier than normal and trickier than I was used to. Maybe I got fat and lazy on the other scripture. But on these, it seems like it's become, they seem similar until you start really digging deeper into them and looking at the details of what each writer, and the cool part is we're getting to look at each writer and their styles and how some, I mean, the Brothers of Karash, that was pretty cool. I thought they wrote some beautiful stuff. They're very poetic. Anyway, it really has nothing to do with 93. I just musing because it's a short verse and I can talk a little bit today. So let's pull up the verse. I think I like this one the best because it's less of me. The Lord reigns. He is robed in majesty. The Lord is robed. He has put on his strength as his belt. Yes, the world is established. It shall never be moved. I love how when we think of royal or regal things, we always think of being robed in it. I mean, they always had the fanciest garments, the really beautiful clothing. And even in scripture, that's how they describe it is robed and beautiful. Your throne is established from old. You are from everlasting. The floods have lifted up, O Lord. The floods have lifted up their voice. The floods lift up their roaring, mightier than the thunders of many waters, mightier than the waves of the sea. The Lord on high is mighty. Your decrees are very trustworthy. Your holiness befits your house, O Lord, forevermore. Okay, that is very short and sweet. What's he trying to say? I mean, the floods are like the storms of life. The floods are the things that are going around us that seem overwhelming and scary. But no matter how great those floods are, our God is greater. And he's going further to say that without a doubt, we can trust God's judgment on this. We may not understand it. We may not even agree with or like the thought of what's going on, but we can trust God's judgment in the whole thing. His will is always right, and to us it's terrifying because even in our normal life, it's a control thing. We're afraid to let go. My life has always been that way. I mean, but I've known people in my life that have faced extraordinary odds, sickness, career, and I've known them enough, and it's how they reacted. Sometimes it was good, sometimes it was bad. Sometimes they backed into a shell and wouldn't let anybody in. And then other times they reached for God and with passion and vigor. And they never lost that feeling that God was still controlling things. I'm going to pull 1 second here. I got an image that I found yesterday that I thought would be, this is what I picture as the storms. And I thought we look at our lives and it's like, here we are. Here we are. Our life is us on that surfboard. And the storms and the waters around us are this wave. It's so overwhelming. It's so gigantic. We know what could happen if he makes one mistake on that wave. We know that without guidance, without help, he's in big trouble. That's tons and tons of water over his head. That's what it can feel like when you're going through this. That's what it can be like. I can remember in my life when it seemed like whatever decision I made, whatever call I made, that a test soon came afterwards. And it wasn't from God. I know that. It was more the enemy proving to me that I was alone. I can remember being on my last dollars and cents, and I remember putting 12 cents worth of gas in my car. I remember having a car that was not real good and trying to drive 50 miles to work every day. And if it rained, it conked out. And with no visible means to get home. And yet I did each time. We can look at these things through the realm of, I got to fix it. I have to find a solution. I had isolated myself. I had pushed away everything that could help me and focused on fixing what was going on in my life. It wasn't my lack of money. It might have been my lack of judgment. But at that point in my life, my faith was in me. My faith was, I can fix this. I can handle this. There's not anything I can't do. And I think that's where we sometimes fall down. The storms don't get any less because I think I can handle it. The storms don't go away. And I am proof positive that I watched myself. I had morning once. I drove to work. I got a flat tire on the way to work. I opened up my trunk. My spare's flat. Didn't think anything of it. Sat for an hour waiting for a cop to come by and was late for work. I left the car on the freeway and he drove me to work. I got to work. I took my truck. I went over to a gas station, had him tow the car back and fix the tire. I went about my day at work. I had a full day at work. I get 1 mile from the plant and somebody rear ends the truck, totals their car. I'm thinking to myself, this is a lot, God. I didn't think that at the time. I thought, this is what on earth is going on, right? I finished my day's work. I go over to the gas station to pick up my car. Just all I had done was a tire, and The radio was stolen out of the car. Angry, mad, frustrated, I stormed out of the gas station, got in my car, and started driving home. 10 miles into the drive, a belt fell off. And it started to snow. And I kept thinking to myself, when is this day going to end, right? Never once did I pray to God. Never once did I ask for help other than myself. I fixed the belt, got in the car, the battery's dead. I was ready to give up at that point. I was so frustrated. It's 10 o'clock at night by this point. It's dark. It's snowing. And I'll never forget, I went into the gas station that I stopped at and bought the belt. And after spending time out there fixing it in the cold, I put the belt, I went in and I says, I only have this much money left. I had been through quite a bit that day. I says, can I get a jump? And the guy goes, well, we don't jump cars. And I'm like, I was at my west end, and I can never forget the little girl behind the counter looked at the guy and she goes, really? He's been out there for an hour in the cold, putting the belt on it, and you can't jump him? The guy went out, got the truck, and jumped in the car. It was, to me, that was an intervention by somebody that wasn't me. It was an intervention by somebody that had witnessed what was going on. I didn't understand at the time that it was not, there's more to life than just me fixing it, and more to me life than we all go through these storms, and they're not, sometimes it's not about a car. Sometimes it's medical stuff. Sometimes it's relational stuff. And it's so many of these things. But when we go through them, we need to remember who's in charge. And we need to remember, no matter how great the floodwaters of life are, no matter how bad things can get, our God is greater. That's what I have for you today, guys. I hope it was a blessing. I pray that it was a blessing. And I don't think anybody else came out and said, maybe take a real quick look. Dave Donnelly. Oh. Okay, Dave, we're good. I'm not sure I understand it, but we'll explain it another time, right? All right. I have a firmly rooted day, gentlemen, and may someone see Jesus in you today. Peace. Oh, peace out. And of course, here I am fiddling for buttons. And they say,